I missed the very beginning of what you were saying there because I was about a minute late, but I think I know I've worked with you before, but I feel like that my resistance to what is what prevents me from being awake. I don't know, you started to address it, but I wonder if you could say more about that, because I always sit here feeling like, they say you should be grateful for what is, and I should be, because I'm living in this nice house, for example, but instead I'm resisting. It shouldn't be like this. It should be like that. Mm-hmm. And then if I had that, I'm sure I'd say, no, this isn't right either. It shouldn't be like this either. What it should be like is like that. So it's like there's this constant, like, it's never right. It's never right. It's never right.
It shows how fickle the mind is. It wants this and then it gets it, and actually, no, now I don't want that. Now I want something else.
Yeah, it's like, I think if I won $1 million in the lottery or something, well, that's not enough. You need 10 million.
Yeah. It's always about next.
So and I just need you to fix it for me.
I'm afraid I can't fix anything for anyone. You and I have had this discussion before. But what I can say is start with that resistance. Because what the trouble is there's an assumption of, I need to get rid of this resistance. I need to get rid of that. I need to keep that. It's all about the other thing, the next thing, the other thing over there. And actually, what life is always calling of us is to be with now, to be here, be present with what is. And to be present with what is sometimes requires us to be present with resistance. So don't be afraid of resistance. Don't demonize resistance itself. And actually, if you can come at resistance with the same welcoming that you would an old friend, to actually welcome it into your experience, it opens up to being able to welcome all of your experience. But right now it feels like resistance is that gatekeeper. So start
it's hard to welcome it because I don't want it. It's like, go away, I don't want it. Which keeps it in place, I guess.
Yeah, it's pushing against it. It's creating this sense of separation, as if welcoming shouldn't, as if resistance shouldn't be there, shouldn't be welcomed. But take a look. If you actually, for a moment, allow yourself to just be with that resistance, see what happens. Because you've sort of decided somewhere in there, right, resistance, this is the enemy. I shouldn't like resistance. I shouldn't welcome resistance. This is a bad thing. But have you explored resistance? Have you actually become a little bit curious about it? That's the welcoming I'm talking about. And I don't mean trying to understand it in terms of a story, but just actually feel it.
That's what I mean, You don't want to go back and say, oh, it's because my dad did this when I was 5 years old or something. You don't want to go back to that.
If that stuff comes up, fine, but you don't hold on to any of it. But actually just seat yourself in the felt experience of it.
So because I feel it tension in here. I feel like I focus there. I think about it. I put my attention on it, and I think, well, now what? Okay, nothing's happening. Now what?
You're trying to get rid of it, though. That's not that curiosity. Anything. Yeah, I'm talking about that gentle and tender curiosity. That's the welcoming I'm talking about. Not, right, I've got to feel it, and if I feel it, it will go.
Right.
It's actually the opposite of what I'm talking about. Bring some tenderness to the exploration.
It's hard though, because I feel like I'm angry about it. Like, I don't want this.
But that's it. Then you bring some tenderness to that anger, and that anger will come up within it as well. And you bring some tenderness to that anger. When I say it's like the gateway, it's like you open up to that resistance, and beneath it you find this anger. and you open up further to that anger. Beneath that, what is there? And again, it's not about analyzing it, it's about feeling it, it's about experiencing it. And you come, and actually if you allow yourself to drop into all of these layers, you just come to that place of well, self is the only word I can use there. That awareness that holds all of this. But you have to be willing to sort of, and again, I could say welcoming, I say curiosity, those are the same, it's the same energy there. That curious, sort of loving, welcoming of whatever is there. And in that, it bottoms out in yourself. And in that self, you recognize, actually, there's room for resistance here. There's room for anger here. There's room for all of it here. But some part of me thought there wasn't.
Yes. I mean, I hear the words and it sounds so simple, but my mind says, oh, it's not that simple.
Yeah. So you have to go with a little bit of faith, a little bit of trust in the process, a little bit of patience. And it's like, you can pick up all of those mind tricks that are saying, oh, it's not that, it's not simple, it's not, we can go there afterwards. But for now, let's take a moment to see if that's possible, actually. Not if we think it's possible, but actually just take a look. To not assume it's not possible. Because if we honestly went with the ideas of the mind that says, oh no, this isn't possible, that isn't possible, we probably wouldn't do anything, honestly.
Yeah, because my mind wants to say, okay, nothing's happened. We've done this for 10 seconds. We've got to do other things to do. We've got more important things to do than sit here and do this.
And if that's what you find yourself doing, maybe it was more important. But you say it's important. You say you want to be content with this moment. Maybe it is to be with this moment. Then you have to start with the willingness to be with this moment. Yeah,
it feels like there's a war going on inside, fighting it. We're not going to be present. We're not going to be present. And you can't make me, so there.
So bring that into the fold, allow that to be there, but not try to change it in any way. But just be aware of it. Give room for it. Give unconditional room for it. We give room for all these other things in our life. Why wouldn't we give room to ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. You might wake up in the night worrying about something and lay asleep for half an hour or an hour worrying about something, but I don't wake up in the night and think, oh, let me focus on the resistance.
Habits. We have the habits that we don't even look at it because we've deemed it as something that we don't want to be in our experience. And so we go about life in every which way we can to avoid that thing which we've said, no, that shouldn't be there. At some point, we have to sit our butts down and be with life. Not what we think life should be, but we be with the reality of what we're presented with. And the only way we can do that is if we come at it with a sense of humility and a sense of curiosity and a sense of love for life, non-judgment of life.
It's like I've got to fix it. There's something wrong. I'm not happy. There's something I'm upset about. Something. Got to fix it. What can I do to fix it?
Yeah.
Mind is looking for answers.
It is.
Glass of wine helps.
Can you just let that mind Not ultimately, but yeah, maybe in the moment it might feel that way. Yeah. You have to make friends with all of life. That includes the mind.
I think a funny saying about that could be like a funny saying I was thinking about when you were talking about resistance was Star Trek when it was like resistance is futile.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Might not work,
Resistance.
I don't know. That's just a funny thought that came to me.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Resistance is futile.
Yes.
Which is why you can't resist resistance. You have to get beneath the whole thing. Include the whole thing.
I guess, like you said, it's a habit, isn't it? It's an ingrained habit of going there and trying to fight it.
Yeah. See what happens when you just take even just it doesn't matter about where you start, just start somewhere. And what happens when you take whatever you feel like you don't want in your life and you welcome that in, energetically welcome it in and feel it and see what happens there. How does it feel? It might feel intense and uncomfortable and alien to start with, and you might want to give up at that moment. But if you just hold your ground in those moments and just with some tenderness and some curiosity, allow yourself to be in that moment with whatever is arising, see what happens. I hazard a guess that you might actually find some relief and some joy and some openness that comes with that. But you have to do the work. No one can do it for you. As much as you want that.
You're supposed to just fix it for me, make life a little easier.
My view is there's nothing to fix. And that is not maybe a popular view, but that is my view. There's nothing to fix. That is built on a big fat assumption there. That life shouldn't be this way.
Right.
And that actually that the way this life is undesirable. But it's all in reference to this image you have. We all have. Everyone has a different image, but everyone has an image. It's all in reference to this image of what life should be. Again, there's that word should.
Mm-hmm.
So where's your loyalty? Is your loyalty to that image, or is your loyalty to this moment? If your loyalty is to that image, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. You're going to be chasing that image for the rest of your life.
Right, because if you get the image, you'll want something else, or it won't be right.
It will never live up to the image. Yeah, nothing ever lives up to the image. Because it's just that. It's just an image. It's not life. It's not got the full 3D, full multi-dimensional effect of what life is in that moment.
I guess in my mind, it feels like, there's so much to unravel. It'll never happen. That's another story in the mind. You'll never get to it. Why even bother?
All it is to let go of that image in this moment, in every moment, each moment, letting go of that image that causes so much suffering. But if you have to see that, it's the image that's the problem here. And for that, you have to be willing to take a look. You have to be willing to be radically honest, actually, with yourself. Is this an image, or is this life? Is this reality? Is this happening now, or is it an image? And am I suffering that image?
I mean, I usually just feel like there's tension in here, like in solar plexus, like something's not quite right in my life, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's not the way it's supposed to be.
Have you
Not
ever
necessarily an
considered?
image.
Have you ever considered that if you allow yourself to go, the attention to go to that tension that you feel, what happens? What happens if you do that?
I mean, it feels like it's still there. I just got my attention on it.
Okay. Do you find the boundaries of it? The shape of it, the feeling of it? Are you allowing your full attention to rest there without the need for fixing? Without the judgment?
Yeah. Yeah, looking at the boundaries, I can sort of see it like moving away, and it does feel like it has boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I can work with it. Well, I shouldn't say that either. I just thought when I said that, work with it, that's like, oh, it's work. Don't want to do that.
No, you can be with it. It's not working
Be
with
with
it,
it,
it's
yes.
being with it.
Be with it,
Actually.
yeah. That's better.
It's actually our resistance to not wanting to be with life that causes us this sense of it needs to be fixed. It needs to be gone. It needs to be moved. It needs to be whatever.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. Thank you, Imogen.